This is the skill assessment booklet for under 9 footballers. This assessment is based off the GAA player pathway and covers the skills that are specifically important to under 9 footballers. It covers the crouch lift, solo, hand pass and punt kick. We advise coaches to do these assessments 3 times a year. Once at the start of the year to see where your players are at in terms of skill development, once in the middle of the year to monitor how your players are progressing, and again at the end of the year to see if your players reach the targets laid out in the booklet. Skill assessing your players can help coaches to see which skills the team performs well, and it can help coaches to pinpoint areas that need extra work. It can also show individual players where they are strong and not so strong, and it may motivate them to practice their skills at home. Skill assessing your players can also give clarity to coaches. It can help coaches to focus on the age-specific skills that are vital at that age group and not to focus on other skills that aren't as important right now. It's best to use a rotation system when running the skill assessment, so as to avoid long queues of players waiting for their turn to perform the skill assessment. Set up the 4 different assessments in different areas of the pitch, and 4 coaches take a group of players, each to a different skill, and rotate to the next skill once finished. That way, waiting time for each player is kept to a minimum and the assessment is finished quicker, allowing you to return to training as normal. You can record each individual player's scores in Offaly GAA's skill assessment booklet. If you haven't got a booklet, you can get one by contacting any of our coaching and game staff. To set up the crouch lift, you must place 8 cones in a straight line 4 meters apart, with a ball at cone 2, 4 and 6. As seen in the video, the player starts at cone 1 and crouch lifts the ball at cone 2 and drops at cone 3, crouch lifts the ball at cone 4 and drops at cone 5, and crouch lifts the ball at cone 6 and drops at cone 7. The player will then run around cone 8 and repeat all the way back to cone 1. He will use his right foot for the first 3 balls and his left foot for the next 3 balls. The player gets 10 points for each successful crouch lift. In the next section, we will look at how to set up the solo assessment. To set up the solo assessment, mark out a square 4 meters by 4 meters and a cone 1 meter away from a corner of the square to indicate the start point. The cones are marked 1, 2, 3 and 4 as seen in the diagram in the booklet. The player starts at the start cone and runs the cone 1 where he solos with his right foot. He then runs across to cone 3 and solos with his left foot. He continues to cone 4 where he solos with his left foot again before running to cone 2 where he solos with his right foot and finishes the assessment by running back to the start cone. The player attempts 2 solos in each leg and gets 10 points for each successful solo. In the next section, we will look at how to set up the hand pass assessment. To set up the hand pass assessment, you must place 3 cones 4 meters apart. Cone 1 is the start cone and there are 6 footballs placed beside it. The player picks up a ball at cone 1, runs towards cone 2 and hand passes to a coach who is standing on cone 3. He then runs back to cone 1 and repeats. The player must hand pass on the move. He attempts 3 hand passes with his right hand and 3 with his left hand. He gets 10 points for each successful hand pass. In the next section, we will look at how to set up the punt kick assessment. To set up the punt kick assessment, you must mark out a goal that's 2 meters wide using cones or poles as seen in this video. A cone is then placed 10 meters out from the goals. We'll call that cone B. Another cone is placed a further 4 meters back. We'll call that cone A. 6 balls are placed at cone A as in the video. The players pick up the ball at cone A, runs towards cone B and attempts to punt kick the ball through the goals. The ball must not bounce or roll along the ground. The player then returns to cone A and repeats. He must kick 3 balls with his right foot and 3 with his left foot. He gets 10 points for each successful kick.